It has begun, and it is on Akalon Waste. We see spawning down here in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. The Red Terran player leading 1-0 after a very anticlimactic Belshir Vestige is Axiom Heart. And I think it is safe to say that the young Neeb is probably a little bit flustered. He is the blue Terran player spawning up here in the top left. He is as mad as his command center looks when you zoom in like that. See the angry command center?
No, it's a little mad. Indeed, Ben. So far, it's not really been Neeb's day. I really felt that his very first game of the day against Jim, you know, everything started off sort of okay. That was like, hey, Neeb, this is really not going bad for you. Then he decided to pull SUVs, and I kind of feel that everything went downhill ever since. Like, that was not necessary, and from that point on, nothing has really been going his way anymore. I must say, his last name is really cool, by the way. I just saw it on the loading screen. I never knew it. It's like Sunderhaft.
Neeb Sunderhaft?
Well, Alex Sunderhaft.
Wow, that's like a Viking name.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds very cool. Almost as cool as Fish Sticks, his name.
Sunderhaft. Man.
Goldhaber against Sunderhaft.
Sounds like somebody that walks around with a giant axe and just like
this sounds like an MMA
chops
fight.
things down.
Some people just have like beautiful names to put on flyers.
That is a great last name.
When I was in elementary school, I was always very, very embarrassed to say my last name. And
Van der
when we had to say that, I always said it like really quick and hope no one was looking. And then the teacher would be like, "Excuse me, Kevin, what was it?" It's like all shaky. And
what's wrong with your last name?
I don't know. When I was very young, I was embarrassed. You know, when you're a kid, you think stupid stuff.
When I was a little kid, I was about 4.5 years old when my mom got pregnant with my little sister, Callie, whom you know. And I can very vividly remember laying in bed with my mom and my dad, and they're like, "What should we name the baby?" And I wanted to name her Catfish.
She would have loved you for that.
I really liked Catfish, man. We lived in a little trailer. And I can remember when we moved out of our trailer, we sold it, and a truck came and took it away. And I was really sad because I had caught a catfish, and it was in the freezer in the trailer, and we didn't get the catfish out when they took it away. And I cried, "My catfish is gone, and he won't let me name my sister Catfish." I was very upset.
Poor man. Second refinery is going down over here for Axiom's Heart in the right bottom side of the map. And we can see a second refinery going down for Neeb as well, Ben. So we might have some mirror openings, or Neeb is going to be like, well, considering the fact that your Cloak Banshees worked so well in game number 1, you're probably going to do it again in game number 2, because you'll be like, I can't defend against it. And maybe Neeb is going to open up with a Raven this time, like Raven Viking, something like that.
We'll see.
Ooh, Heart.
Widow Mine opening here for Heart. So we might
yeah,
be seeing
that's what
Widow
he
Mine
did.
drop.
No, he did that the last
Factory?
game as well. He got last game he got a Widow Mine too. Remember, it was in the bottom of the ramp.
Wait, that's not Double Factory. That's Factory Starport. I am just blind today. So this could be exactly what we saw in game number 1 from Heart.
I'm very curious to see what Neeb is going to do. You know, Cloak Banshee against Cloak Banshee is a really interesting opening. It comes down to multitasking. You have to be very good. You have to be on top of your second Widow Mine, right? So now it is a little different, but.
Yeah, Starport's finishing up.
Yeah,
Marines are moving across the map. I think we're going to see a medevac, Kev.
I think you are correct.
Or
so Heart is once more going to be very aggressive. If Neeb fights this while his units are at home, if his Banshee is at home helping out, it might not be all that bad, but he's definitely going to need the DPS of that Banshee against the healing ability of this one medevac.
Well, here we go. SCV is going to lead the charge.
Actually, there's no medevac. I think Heart kind of gave away what he wants to do right now, and I think Neeb is going to be sort of okay with this. He might still send that Banshee to the other side of the map, because he knows if that Banshee makes it there, there's going to be absolutely nothing other than maybe a Widow Mine or maybe 1 or 2 Marines to defend against that Banshee.
Hey, if 2 Widow Mines are next to each other and one player scans, will the Widow Mine kill the Widow Mine?
Of course, why not?
I don't know. Maybe they like both being Widow Mines. It's what? It's a thought.
Okay, there is a Viking at home. We can see the Marines retreating home as well. So these Marines, actually, I mean, Heart is going to be more than fine defending against this, man. Raven is halfway down. He might have to throw down 1 scan. Maybe even a second one, but I don't think he's ever going to use a second one, as this Raven is, you know, just 20 seconds away from being completed. 1 scan is necessary. Make sure it's a good scan. Up.
Right now, Heart's like, "Hey, get out of here!" The Banshee's like, "No, I want to
Actually,
harass."
he doesn't even want. Okay, now he does.
Oh. Oh.
Now you should just back
Careful,
off.
careful. Oh, sad day.
Of course, he couldn't know what we know. On the other hand, it is kind of predictable that it is a Raven, because you know, either Raven Viking or Viking Raven is pretty damn popular. This is a really quick siege tank for Neeb. On the other end of the map, siege tank production has started already for Hard as well. So Hard is like, if you have any funky plans of putting me on a contain very early on, you're in for a bad surprise, my dear. Because I will have a siege tank myself, and I will be able to take my natural. So, you know, despite the openings being slightly different, this is kind of what we mentioned in game number 1. You know, at the end of the day, it all kind of lines up. 31 workers for Hard, 30 for Neeb. Command centers are finished up for both players, or orbitals I should say. Once more, super quick third command center by the way for Neeb. That is the same thing as he tried to do on Belgian Vestige.
Yeah, but mostly even looking game here, Kev. We've got 63 supply to 54. Like you said, slightly faster. Well, at this point, much faster third command center for Neeb. Hart hasn't shown us any intention to take one at all. But what's he going to follow it up with? See more Vikings being produced.
That's a beautiful scan, by the way, by Hart. That's going to give him a pretty damn good idea of what he's playing against. He's going to see these additional Rexes, and above all, he's going to see that third command center, and he knows the timing on it.
What do you think? If you scan and see that, are you going to get aggressive? Well, I guess the answer is yes, because Hart is already moving.
I don't think it's going to be possible for him to really make something happen, unless he somehow spreads his opponent out.
Auto turrets can be really frustrating for siege tanks to deal with.
That is definitely true, but there are plenty of Marines to almost take out those auto turrets immediately. I mean, above all, if Neeb has like even the slightest idea that he has to worry about something like this, oh my god, he just moved those units out of position right after he killed those rocks. This is going to be kind of annoying. Neeb, your units are everywhere besides where they should be.
Oh man, and it's a great position to siege up for these tanks. A point defense drone right overhead is going to mean that Viking shots are not able to assail this position. Neeb's going to be forced to siege himself out from the high ground. He does have tanks out there.
He's going to try to break it with everything. Oh, I'm curious. Oh, the Raven actually taking so much damage.
Risky business. The Raven does land an auto turret, but it's not really in range of anything. And this is a very bad fight for Neeb. The siege tanks might both die. They will both go down. Finally, Neeb cleans it up, but it's at the cost of a lot of army and
a lot of SCVs.
Quite a few SCVs as well. 15 SCVs killed by Hard. I didn't realize it was that many. Here's a very lonely siege tank.
The only good thing, Ben, is that he does have 3 orbital commands, so that is sort of something. This could have definitely gone a little better for Neeb if that Raven would have been able to serve a better purpose. It took so much damage from a few Marines, and at the end of the day was only able to land 1 other turret. Like, he could have landed a few more, because it had a lot of energy, and that would have definitely helped out in cleaning up this little push. Now a new wave is already coming up for Hard once more, but Neeb does have 1 tank. He really needs to siege it up though. Neeb is just playing so blind, but he does not see these armies moving across the map, and that is creating a really big problem.
Yep, and a couple more tanks going to leapfrog forward for Hart. Actually, Hart rethinking this. I don't know.
It's very good. Oh, Stim. Stim? No, everything's gonna...
Actually,
that's a good Stim.
He'll clean up these siege tanks.
That's actually a really good little pickup, man.
Yep. Means that...
Wow. We don't mind getting a massive shot up over here, Ben, on the tank at 3 Marines, extremely low on HP. Slowly but steady, Neeb definitely stabilizing. You could perhaps even say sort of in an okay position right now.
He's taking a supply lead, Kev. He's got a faster third base. He's already mining down there. He's going to knock out these collapsible rocks, making himself even more safe. And for the first time, maybe all day, Neeb's in a great position.
Well, do you think that Hard unseats his tanks immediately after seeing those Vikings, and he was like, if I want to keep this up, I'm going to have to throw down a lot of scans because I won't have vision on these tanks?
You know, I think he just realized that Neeb had way more units than Hart was able to deal with, and he was just like, all right, let's get out of here. But Neeb made the incredibly intelligent choice to stem and chase, and that allowed him to get those tank kills. So
he definitely had to be careful because he didn't have combat shield yet, and if you then stim, you don't really have a lot of HP. Now he does have combat shield, and at the end of the day it was only 2 tanks and there was barely any additional backup. So Hard in Neeb in a pretty good position right now, as you mentioned as well. Upgrades even ahead, +1 just finishing right now for his Marines, +1 only a little more than halfway done for Hard. Hard is taking his third base though. He still has that minor work elite of 7, but you know, 7 SCVs, okay, it's pretty good, but it's not as big as it could be in other matchups. Of course there were 3 mules as well, so you know. Neeb should be okay.
Neeb finally feeling confident enough to start dropping. We see this medevac making its way across the bottom half of the map. And we'll see if he's able to do any real damage with it. Obviously, Hart's got plenty of units down here in his third base, but if Neeb goes to the natural of main...
I'm going to drop a couple of Marines over here. He should be able to pick up quite a few SCVs. Picks up 2, 3, 4. That's
nice.
already a successful drop and a missing turret.
Great. Really well done. I think even more successful than I thought it might be. Meanwhile,
what
one
an
more
epic fight.
victorious
Epic
Marine.
fight all around
Oh
the
my
map.
gosh, Neeb has... so Hart has Marines, Neeb has Navy SEALs.
It's a good day to be a SEAL. They are proud.
Except for these SEALs. They're like, oh, get us out of here. It's going to be a bumpy ride. But they make it.
Armor upgrade going down at the same time. Double engineering bay actually for Neeb. As you can see, he's already starting +2 attack. I believe Hart is still on a single engineering bay. So if this continues, Neeb is creating a really good advantage for himself. Supplies are extremely even right now. The work account more even than it's ever been since the very first attack. Above all, Neeb finally has eyes. He has units around the map. He doesn't see this army making its way across the map though, but he should be able to see it soon because
Sees
of
it
this.
now.
Christopher Columbus. This is the guy from Black Hawk Down. Remember?
Marco! Oh, shoot!
He's
Siege
standing
tank
there with a
shoots at him.
walkie-talkie and he's like, man, they have high-tech units. But that's okay. This is
I think
guerrilla
a
warfare.
great response to this from Neeb would be to actually send that drop again.
He has 2 medevacs out on the map right now. 60 Marines can cause a world of trouble for Hart with all these units out on the map. But above all, he doesn't really have to. He has double eBay. He's going to have an upgrade advantage. He's even starting mech upgrades already. Something's going to have to go horribly wrong for Neeb to somehow lose control of this game. Because right now, I kind of like where this is heading.
Yep. Now, when we get to this stage, though, TVT is still a positional game. And if you get out-positioned, then anything can happen. So I think oftentimes it can end up favoring the aggressor because that's the person that is maybe first to strike, first to take those better positions.
I mean, in general, you would say that TVT is the hardest matchup to attack into each other.
Sure. But look at, Hart has, Hart has essentially sectioned off more than half the map. He controls more space.
Which can also work against you. Like, it can be fantastic, but if you're not planning to turn this into a super long macroeconomic game, zoning out your opponent and creating a weakness behind yourself. Well, we do see Neeb trying to drop over here. Since 3 Marines, but even 3 stim Marines can cause a lot of trouble.
They hate the missile turret guy. He's going to get burned alive. As these Marines will ultimately get cleaned up.
I'm still mad that your stupid missile turret guy made it to the front page of Reddit. Totally undeserved.
Man, the missile turret guy works hard, dude. You know how every day when he gets off work, he goes home and he throws up because he's so dizzy from just spinning all day. It's an inglorious
Both players
job.
on siege and siege at the same time. The upgrade advantage is in favor of Neeb though.
And he's got a better spread of units as well. More Marines able to fight. He's going to crush this attack from Hart. And Neeb will wrest a very real army advantage from his opponent. 170 supply against 150. Hart is still pushing out on the map aggressively, which surprises me a bit, but he does have more high health Marines than Neeb does at the moment.
And I don't believe there is a 4th command center on the map for Hart, am I correct?
I think you are correct.
Well, there is a 4th command center in place already for Neeb. So Neeb, even though I can understand you might feel like you want to make something happen after that fight, careful though, don't throw away too many units. This is going quite okay for you. Right now, being aggressive, there are a couple of units on the north side of the map, but Neeb has units there as well.
Great play by Neeb, catches the other attack and will not take any damage from it.
3 medevac.
Very nicely done.
Upgrades are very, very important.
Yes, they are, and Neeb will have +3 well in advance of Hart.
This is a massive drop, so sort of a doom drop over here. He's going to unload a lot of siege tanks and a crazy amount of Marines over here in this third base from Hart. And the moment he sieges up with all 4 tanks, I almost don't see a way anymore how Hart is going to break this.
One thing to consider, though, is how is Neeb going to defend the counterattack? Hart is moving towards Neeb's base. He's not coming home to defend. So Neeb is definitely putting himself in position to win here. But Hart has one final attack, one last attempt to get back in this game. I don't think it's going to work, though, Kev. He's at 170 supply and supply blocks. Neeb is maxed out and denying bases, building more command centers. Everything is going in Neeb's favor. Great play here on Akalon Waste. Come on, get busy with this drop. Let's wrap this thing up.
Setting
Let's
up a
move
little
on to game
sandwich
3.
over here. Perhaps not the best engagement he could have possibly wished for, but he is able to reset the tank count. He loses a lot of Marines. I think sort of is okay. Don't lose these tanks though.
Uh-oh.
That wasn't the best fight he could have taken.
Suddenly, I'm not sure that I'm a believer. Look at this big gob of red crossing the map, Kev.
Well, look at the low amount of blue in the natural from Hard though. Can you say SCV Massacre, man? Oh.
It is a bad day to be a worker in the army of Hart as they will all evacuate up into the main. Many will die, but the base race is on, Kev.
Seats up.
Never base race a Terran, but what does that mean in TVT?
Oh my god, Hard has a pretty big Marine lead right now. 65 against like 40 because a lot of these Marines are just spawning right now and they are going to die. This engineering bay might die as well, so no +3 for Neeb.
That would even things up in upgrades, and that would be very important for Hard. Takes out a siege tank before that last volley goes off.
Neeb. This was really Neeb's game to lose, and now we have to raise ourselves the question, is he actually going to lose it?
Well, he does have a base with a planetary, which maybe that's something he can fall back to.
Yeah, but he needs Rexes. He needs to actually start producing units, and not just from these Rexes, but units that can make it back to his army, because right now he's down 17, 18 Marines, and that could really make the difference. He does have 5 tanks. Most of them are on the other side of the map. He does have 6 medevacs, but that's 4 less than his opponent. This is a nice little, you know, something that's going to be hard to attack into. But he could drop a couple of Marines on top of it.
Just a drop on it, and that's exactly what we're going to see right here. Hart goes ahead and unloads. I don't know if that's the right way to do it, Hart. But ultimately, it is going to get the job done.
Oh my god.
Man, tense moments. 89 supply, or 79 supply to 76 supply. Hart and Neeb both very even right now. It's 55 army supply. Though it has to be said, Neeb is still mining. He does have a planetary. He has other bases landing around the map.
Hart has never scouted this fourth base.
And that could prove pivotal here.
Yep. But I mean, above all is cloak benches?
Oh,
smart.
So smart. Hart's, he does have a command center. 2 of them, in fact, floating off in the distance. So
Hart is going to find the first, but that's he's going to need more than just that. This is not the only starport that's out on the map. There's another one. Meanwhile, there are a crazy amount of units just killing buildings all around the map right now. Picking up these Marines would actually be huge. He's going to pick up the medevac. He will get it.
Yes, he will. Very well done there by Neeb. Every unit counts at this stage of the game. 50 army supply to 43 now is the count. 27 Marines to 19. It's very close. Medevac count heavily favors Hart, Kev, and that means that he will have, in theory, higher help, more sustainable units. Now, siege tank count is something else that's very important, and as you've already pointed out, Neeb enjoys a massive tank lead. Banshees are in production.
Those are no cloak benches yet, correct? Oh no, he did. Did he research cloak in the start of the game? Was this a cloak bench build?
He does have cloak.
Alright, so that is good. But it's also good for Hart is that he still has 2 orbital commands, which is, by the way, one more orbital than his opponent. So he has plenty of scans in theory. So these benches are not a straight up win.
But if he drops all of his mules,
yeah,
he will suddenly be hating life.
No, he knows there is the potential threat.
Last siege tank from Hart dies.
Yeah.
27 Marines to 25, man. I think I swear I think Neeb's got this one in the bag.
Yeah,
he's to wait and see still.
He's in a very good position, but you know, we've seen crazier things.
Although Hart is making his way back across the map to deal with the infrastructure of Neeb. And it's all about position, Kev. A siege tank dies. A barracks is going to die. There are Marines up on that high ground, isolated and alone. I think they can be killed. Cloak Banshee has revealed itself, and now I think Hart realizes his peril. He's going to maybe lose this command center. Yes, definitely this command center is going to die. That means there is a single command center on the map for Hart. It does have energy for scan, but Cloak Banshees are overhead above his army.
Oh, actually he's not landed, of course, because he lost the other orbital command, so he's unloading all these Marines.
This Marine could save... Oh, he's not going to do it. So command center making his way back. Kev, this command center is going to land, and then we're going to have a scan, and it's all going to be about whether or not Hart is able to kill these Banshees. Scan will go down. One Banshee is going to fall immediately. 43 supply to 82, a big lead for Neeb, and it's all in army supply. 67 army supply.
A very big Marine lead as well, which is so important. He should be able to take on this straight ahead engagement. It's 2-2 upgrades against 2-2, so that second engineering bay was able to finish up the armor upgrade. This really is once more Neeb's game to lose, and he shouldn't. We can see see a couple of Marines will find this one Christopher Columbus Marine, which was on the... Well, actually, it was the Black Hawk Down Marine standing on the hill, scouting the entire army. Neeb is going to siege up right now. He's still going to find himself in a good position because, as you pointed out many times, this is not a fight that Hard can take. No way. Scan?
No, there's no scan. The command center has been lifted. There's a Marine, a single Marine, chasing it away. This Marine's like, I move buildings.
Neeb is like, you know what? I think I can actually start fighting this army real soon. How many Marines do we have over here? Over 24. That's more than Hard has.
Yes. Whoa, Hart, you've got to be so careful, man. I think, honestly, Neeb could just load up in medevacs and chase this, and it's game over, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's Viking over here right now for Hard. Hard is going to scout this base. He sees that his opponent is still mining, and he's like, you know,